Architecture is not an easy profession, as easy as it looks. It's very backbreaking. It's long hours, you have to deal and manage a lot of stakeholders. It's technically very challenging. In India, we have a lot of work to do because there's evolution on learning what the West has done, but we don't want to go there. We have to build it for ourselves.
What's your idea on architecture being a very male dominant?
I think what's surprising is when you go to architecture school, the proportion of women to men or girls to boys, the girls are actually 60%, higher percentage in colleges. Then by the time you come into the workforce, it changes disproportionately.
Hi everyone, welcome to Walk the Talk with Balbir. Today I am with this beautiful young lady who is a mom of two boys first, and I love her energy. She is architect Nandini Sampath from SNK Somaya and Kalappa Consultants. Hi Nandini.
Hi Balbir, what a honor and privilege to be here talking to you today.
Thank you. Same here. Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. And I'm just enjoying myself sitting with you. So, coming to your biggest inspiration professionally, tell me something about your journey from the beginning till date.
So I think you and I were first talking about how important our parents are and that initial time of our lives growing up. And my father was in the army, so very much army kid. And you're talking about getting up early 5 o'clock morning. Blessed with that. That really where the inspiration for life begins and began for me.
So, how do you balance out your personal life, work life with your two young, beautiful boys?
I think discussing with you, I'm still learning from how you do it. But I think all of us moms have a secret sauce that we kind of put into our lives. I think it's a combination of perhaps what we feel, whether it's a sense of pride for the children, a sense of courage that we can do it today, a sense of fear that we come tomorrow. And as women, we find ultimately the strength to be able to carry all of it and balance everything in the air. And I think sometimes we're so successful that then the others around us stop doing their work. So I think everybody has their ways. And I think earlier we talked about the other people who support us, that it takes a village to raise a child. And so whether it is our staff, our family, our SMK studio family, those are all the foundations upon which my life, my children and my work are built. So very much that.
Very, very well said. Very well said. But in this personal part, you've forgotten about telling me about your fitness journey.
So you and I talked about how we love the mornings. So early morning is, I think, time of peace for all mothers, where they get silence and peace and quiet, where we can kind of evolve in our thoughts. Likewise, I think growing up and really enjoying those early mornings, being disciplined about it, that has kind of pervaded through my life. And I was in the rowing team in college when I was in the United States. So I used to be on the, part of the lightweight rowing team. So that discipline of working in college as well as doing all these competitions, etc., and learning how to be fit and understanding that started then. And then most recently, I've suddenly gone into running, which I think you have a common passion for. So just doing half marathons, pushing yourself, giving yourself different goals in life so that other parts of your life can be balanced. So that becomes important.
So when it comes to working with architect Brinda Samaya, your mom, very, very inspirational. So how is this journey of, having mom at work? It's like the entire, journey from being, from your childhood until today, and then supporting her, having her with you at work, and she having you at work too. How does it feel?
Very lucky and very blessed because I think I remember the first day I came to work, and I wasn't a lawyer before, I was an architect. So I changed professions completely. Architects. So when I changed this and I started, I had my first day at work. Mom at the end, we sat down. She's like, "How was it?" And I said, "Is it supposed to be so much fun?" And she said, "Yes." And now we're 16 years later, and every day has all sad. I think no matter how hard work is, if you want to get up every morning just passionate about that thing to do, and that's what she gave me and she's gifted me. And I got to shadow her and watch her command rules and design with such brilliance. And yet with this grace and humility that she has, it's brilliant. So for me, the exciting journey continues, and we kind of, like a textile, we warp and weft together. Clicky.
So you all work on the same projects or you'll have different projects as well?
No, so we basically work on everything together. It's really fun. Oh, yeah. So we ideate together. There are really funny times where mom's gone to meeting and she's come out, and then I go separately. And then when we talk about it together, she said, "But I said this." And I said, "But I said this." And she's like, "They're going to think we discussed it before." So it's amazing. Everything for us is, of course, doing it together. I watched what she's doing. She's watching how I'm learning. So it's very much this very interconnected process.
She mentioned to me just some time ago that I have been visiting sites today and I'm not going to take a picture. I was like, amazing. Oh, amazing. Hats off. And I think you're great support to her because I could figure that the divine came, and she met you and I saw you. I was like, wow, what is kind. It's amazing, that she really enjoys having you around. And of course, I'm sure you do because we love parents. Like,
Hugely. And just, as you know, working with family, it is this sense of course, you don't agree on everything, but there's this immense trust, this security, this quiet understanding where you don't have to always explain yourself. It's just understood. So those are the things you can't find anywhere, as you can't replace them, and they grow as you work together. They become so much more seamless. And so it's such an interesting and exciting journey to be on with family.
so tell me about your projects which you have worked on, your most favorite ones till date from all those projects in 16 years.
And definitely each one is like a baby, like a child. You birth them over many months, and you can't distinguish between them. I think if you see our work, what's interesting is no single one is alike. And they can never be. They're never stylistically the same. They're built out of the same principles of good design, of response to climate, of being sensitive to materiality, to context, all those aspects. But each client is so different. So we have to realize their vision. So for us, each project is so exciting in a different way. And I think why it's hard for me to choose is because we do so many different things. So I did India at the World, which is museum design. We've done so many galleries, textile gallery, money and jewelry gallery. From there, we do a massive information technology campuses with 1,000,000 square feet, very complex technology integration. From there, we do a public building or educational buildings. From there, we do hotel.
Oh my God, that's like a lot of different, set.
Exactly. And that's what's interesting. So you can move from doing a very high-end corporate office to doing a small project for an NGO in a village, the back of India, where you're learning huge amount as much as you are the other. That's what's exciting about India. So don't make me think.
So but that's what's exciting about your work is what I figure right now because that's what wakes you up every morning to, go and just write that day ahead.
Yeah, so you have to, each project will be interesting if you research and understand who it's for. You can make it its own. So even if you're doing different kinds of houses, but yeah, when we're in a country like India, when you walk down the road and you see the diversity of build forms, imagine our entire country, what there is to do, the work we are responsible for. So we have to go out there, sometimes I always say the projects come to you, in many ways. We have to pitch and, of course, go get work. But, we can do everything from, if you look at a single street in Bombay, you have retail, then you'll have corporate, then you'll have residential, then you'll have, it's multiple. Then you have informal segments, you'll have a chota mandir. Then we actually can contribute to each one of those. So why not when we have the skill?
So, what's your idea on, architecture being a very male-dominant area? What do you have to say on that?
I think what's surprising is when you go to architecture school, the proportion of women to men or girls to boys, the girls are actually 60%, higher percentage in the colleges. Then by the time you come into the workforce, it changes disproportionately. Oh, and the reason why is, and perhaps architecture is not an easy profession, as easy as it looks. It's very backbreaking. It's not hours. You have to deal and manage a lot of stakeholders. It's technically very challenging. So you have to be adept with your technical skills of math, geometry, being able to design well, work in 3 dimension. So there's so many aspects to the profession. And I think women need the support if they're going to be able to kind of work through a profession like this. And so perhaps our society needs to look at why can't more women be architects? Can we support them better? Can we support the younger girls to do it more? And it is tough. It's that I have to say it has changed dramatically over the last, I would say, few years. Our society is changing. There's such a shift now, especially in India. It's becoming pretty globalized, becoming so modern thinking. So when we look at those aspects, there is a change, but there's a lot of work within the profession. And I don't think it's necessarily, it's hard to say, what exactly the differentiators are, but we need to support more women within the industry so their design, the respect for their work, and their voice can be heard loud enough within the architectural fraternity.
So, how has the field of architecture and design changed over the years overall? Like what we just spoke, yes, it is changing. But when it comes to technicalities, what do you have to say on that?
So I think there's been immense change. One is, if you look even a few decades ago, the technical usage from drawing boards to basic computerization to now BIM and some of the AI software we're using. So it's a very exciting world. It's this kind of, slanting into technology, which you have to do today. So I think that's been a big shift. It also allows us to work internationally, work globally, work around country very efficiently. And so that's a very exciting and very obvious shift. Within India, we're experiencing it every day. I mean, the shift in our cities, right from tier 1 to tier 4, the urban development, I think the aesthetic of the Indian mind today. What do I want for my home? What do I want for my professional setting? I think people are more aware. They're very clear on what global standards are now. The third is probably, the wellness factor, the fact that post-COVID, how do we respect the surroundings we live in? Are they healthy? We never think of our built form. Is the place we're living in healthy? We're always thinking what we're eating, what we're wearing, what we're spending all about. What about the atmosphere, the way our walls breathe? What is the kind of fresh air that comes in? Do we have enough greenery or plants to give us a better, healthy atmosphere inside? Is there good light and ventilation? Those aspects are as important. So I think the value to be placed on such aspects is very important. In India, we have a lot of work to do because there's evolution on learning what the West has done, but we don't want to go there.
Yeah.
We have to build it for ourselves.
As per our entire environment.
Absolutely.
Correct.
We are Indian. We understand the way we live. We understand the little things we work for, how our lives work. We understand the kind of community that we live in, which is a very, I think, secular and egalitarian community. That's how India thrives. And so that's the kind of living we have to adopt. We can't just adopt it from different countries, but we can learn from some practice.
Take inspiration from the
Exact.
Yeah, that's absolutely my thought. Very honest. Not that you're taking my interview. William is not. That's what, when we go to the West, we have to go there for inspiration and the pure inspiration, not copy them. We have to, at the end of the day, when it comes to, say, marriages or anything of that sort, their way of doing things is so different. Are we copying that? No. So what we need to do is just, grow with the points that we can be doing here as per our culture and environment and all of that, and keep
Richness, culture. You go to any part of India. If I come to your, original Motami, you come to mine, the food, the tradition, the paintings, the fabrics, the textiles. I mean, just with all our grandmothers and grandfathers' history, we can build books. Within families, that's a history no other part of the world has. So how do we preserve that? How do we showcase that? How do we build on that? That's what's exciting. And I think that story is happening. Slowly, it's happening with the Indian voice, but it's also happening at such a lightning pace. So, how do we kind of slow down and say, we need to think and do it right? I think that.
What are the principles you all follow at SNK?
So I think we are very much rooted in an Indian modern vernacular as well, architecture. So things, as I mentioned, light, geometry, how do we use our resources like water and, electrical requirements or, natural resources that we have. So these are all principles of design that we look at. But beyond that, as architects, what is our responsibility as professionals? So how do we work, I think, with honesty, with integrity, that you should not be fearful of people because you always know you're doing the right thing. That is very hard in our profession. But we must start setting that example. And I think that's something that is very deeply imbibed in our studio. I think the clients who come to us come with those same values. And so we're able to really create good work that not only is, I think, sensitive architecturally, but is it responsible to a community? Is it responsible to, the economics and finance of that area? It has to extend beyond. So for us, the principles have to kind of layer as a person, your working principles, your technical principles, they're all kind of layered together.
I'm so impressed. I feel like it's like, it's a project. If you go to see, and it's a timetable that is set and it is being followed so respectfully. Otherwise, it's like it's a full team, it's your family. SNK is, keeping everyone together and they all are respectfully following it. That's great. I think there's a culture.
Exactly.
It's a culture setting of following is here, and I'm so impressed to hear all that you just said. It's beautiful. So, what is your message for the new generation architects? And especially, I want to know that, being a lawyer, you made this shift. You definitely have a lot to say, so please say it. Oh, wish it to you.
I think I'll say one thing which my grandfather first said, which was no education is ever wasted. So no matter I did, my mom always said, you've done so many years of studying and education, but it taught me how to think. I always think all my research for architecture came from law. And so no matter what you decide to do in life, whatever skill you're training or curious about, or you end up, it's going to provide that basis for the future. So no education is wasted. And as far as your message to that next generation, I think my mom and I live on 3 words, which is live, love, and learn. So if we practice those 3 through our work and through our life, yeah.
Superb. So tell me about Ace Tech.
So I think you all are the legacy platform, and Balgi, we were talking about the same ideas of what is the message to be put out there? What is the platform to be put out there? And that you're responsible for giving people those platforms. And there's so much happening today. So also being able to structure it so that we can very comprehensively use it for the industry. Because again, sometimes we're lost in the storm of information. We always say we're in this data overload information, but it's so important to kind of very clearly siphon it out, have proactive understanding of it, have experience of it, as architects, as designers, to become very tactile, to see, to interact. These are all things each step does. So I think, this is the way forward for, building the community and the industry for it.
No. Thank you so much, Nandini. We really enjoyed this conversation with you. Thank you for being a part of Walk the Talk.
Balbi, such a pleasure. You are such an inspiration to us all as well. I had told you that your story has to cover Walk the Talk, and this time it will be your sons interviewing you. And all of us who have participated are going to watch. So I will say, featuring on the next edition, Eve Balbi, with her incredible story and her family. Yeah? I love you, Lata.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching Walk the Talk.